Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. So we're back once again with the Intel Compaq, and here we are running its install of Windows XP Professional. You know, the one that we did in the previous video, obviously, when we set this OS up. So this is a clean, fresh install of Windows XP Professional with nothing else installed on it. So, in this video, we're going to be installing another OS to this machine, and it's going to be an XP OS again. So, no surprise here, especially since I want to pretty much reset this computer up to how I wanted it to be, you know, after I did something to it. Anyways, today we're going to be installing Windows XP Home Edition, and well, this is a Service Pack 1 version of Windows XP Home Edition. I would have liked to have the RTM version Windows XP Home Edition, but I may happen to have that. I may have not made that RTM copy of Windows XP Home Edition, the recorded copy that is, so I only have Service Pack 1 here. So, but here, anyway, here's the disc. It's semi-transparent, I would assume, a little bit scratched, but hey, still doable. Anyways, so insert that in. Go ahead and restart. And about Windows XP Home Edition, because like, if you don't know, Windows XP was offered in two mainstream versions. You have Windows XP Home Edition and you have Windows XP Professional, obviously. Press any key to boot from CD. Setup is inspecting your computer's hardware configuration. I'm hearing the two floppy drives seek away there in the background, but yeah, we're in the Windows XP Home Edition setup. Again, doesn't look that lot different. Doesn't look that lot different from Windows XP Professional's setup process, and even Windows 2000 too, because they all use the same i386 based setup, like this one that you see right here. Now, yeah, talking about the versions of XP that were released back in the day, because like I did mention about this earlier. So back in the day, Windows XP was offered in two main versions: Windows XP Home Edition and Windows XP Professional. Now, Windows XP Home Edition is the edition that was targeted mainly for consumers, you know, to replace the older Windows 9X series with Windows 95, 98, ME. So it was pretty much the successor to that. And Windows XP Professional was their business oriented high-end market version of Windows XP, you know, with all the features of Home Edition, with including new and enhanced features designed for business and advanced use. At least that's why I'm kind of paraphrasing it from that Windows XP tour, obviously. Setup is starting Windows. So again, the whole setup procedures between this XP Professional and even Windows 2000, they're pretty similar. So I may have to like pretty much just skip through pretty much the majority of the setup process, especially since I might have to shorten the runtime on this, but it'll still be as long as this. But anyways, here we go. Windows XP Home Edition setup. So instead of it saying Professional, it says Home Edition. Welcome to setup. This portion of the setup program prepares Microsoft registered trademark, Windows registered trademark, XP to run on your computer. We'll set up XP now by pressing Enter, examining those two disks. And here's our licensing agreement for Service Pack 1 of Windows XP Home Edition. Yep, XP SP1 Home Edition. searching for previous versions of Microsoft Windows, and it'll go ahead and search for all of our partitions that we have on the drives. Any day now. There we go. Alright, so here we are on XP Home Edition partitioning setup. Now notice that we have our partition space on this 160 gig drive, but also we also have this unpartitioned space on the secondary drive. So I'm thinking that's because Service Pack 1 of Windows XP has support for drives larger than 128 gigabytes, or 137 gigabytes in binary, because Windows XP Service Pack 1 introduced 48 LBA logical block addressing for hard drives and whatnot. That's why we were able to see the extended, the additional unpartitioned space on there. Anyways, we are gonna be installing Windows XP on this partition, and these partition numbered labels here, they were not present in any of Windows 2000's setup processes on the screen. And we will format the partition using the NTFS file system. Now notice that we do not have any options to format it using the FAT partition, but that's okay. We'll press F. I don't need to set my stopwatch here, because I know that this part usually takes about like 20 seconds at most to do this quick formatting this part. Once again, I don't need to pause here at this. That's it, 100% already. So now it's going to check all the drives, all the partitions, all the disks that I have on the system. And then once it does that, it'll go ahead and copy the files, all the files that I have on this thing. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I've already shown you this whole process like many times, especially this. But yeah, so now let's go ahead and copying all the files to be used for setup. So I guess with all that out of the way, I'm going to stop the video here for a second, and I'll catch you back up on the other side. So be back with you guys in a bit. 99%, and there we go. Please wait while Windows setup initializes your XP installation, and now let's go ahead and reboot the system. Now, yeah, excuse me, I'm readjusting the camera a bit. We'll keep that disk in the drive. And let's take a look at that Windows XP Home Edition boot screen. There it is. Green progress bar 2. So, like I said in the previous video of me installing XP Professional, this boot screen was changed in Service Pack 2 and up. Like, again, I'll mention this again, the edition name was removed from the boot screen, and the copyright text down here was simplified, and this green progress bar that you're seeing right now is changed to blue, as used with all other versions, including Professional too. So, and Windows XP Home Edition is the only edition to use a green progress bar on any version of Windows XP, pretty much. Took a little longer to get there, but here we go. We're going into the graphical phase of setup. An exciting new look. Again, we got these blurbs. Windows XP Home Edition sports a brand new visual design that combines a sleek look, clean lines, and appealing colors with a task-oriented design as exceptionally streamlined navigation. The redesigned Start menu makes it easier to find important information and to access the programs you use most frequently. By automatically clearing up the notification area of the taskbar and grouping related taskbar items, Windows XP makes it easier to switch between programs and to open, view, or close multiple items at the same time. So yeah, those are the blurbs. I may not read all of them because, whoa, get up and running with the latest updates. So instead of it switching to the next part, which is like, I don't know, cause like all these blurbs, I don't know the exact order of them, but I may have to look back through them, in that the video that I just did. I think it was something. I'm not too sure, but yeah. Anyways, we are in the graphical phase setup, obviously. So now let's go ahead and installing the devices. And once again, I will mention this. So the setup, this graphical phase setup on Windows XP, it's a lot. It's radically different than from Windows 9X's and Windows 2000's setup process. For one, the big dialog box or window that comes up during the setup, especially that little small dialog box that comes up before the setup program starts that says please wait, that is no longer seen, as well as the starting page and its timeout functions, obviously, where it says welcome to the Windows 2000 setup, something like that. And then after a few seconds, it'll time out and it'll go ahead into installing devices. Yeah, instead of it skipping to, so after an exciting new look, instead of it going through try the easiest Windows yet, it just went straight to the other blurb. Music and entertainment got better. XP has been designed from the ground up to be the best operating system for digital music and entertainment. It's easier to organize, play back your movies and music, listen to internet radio, and transfer files to your portable devices. Media Player, Windows Media Player, delivers new XP features such as audio CD burning, DVD playback, full screen video controls. The new My Music folder makes it fast and fun to organize your Windows Media Audio and existing MP3 collections. And Movie Maker too. So yeah, once again, Windows Movie Maker was first introduced with Windows ME with version 1.0 of Windows Movie Maker. XP RTM and Service Pack 1 came with Windows Movie Maker 1.1. Service Pack 2 and up of XP came with Windows Movie Maker 2.1. Anyways, here we are at the regional language settings, regional language options. You can customize XP for different regions and languages. So let's go ahead and customize, and we will go ahead and install all these because I can. Please wait while setup installs or uninstalls language files. This might take several minutes, so I'm gonna pause here. Alright, finished. I finished installing all of those files, those language files. I'll click customize here, go to to date, and change the 2029 to 2079. I always keep saying this in my videos of me installing these reinstalling these versions of Windows back. So 2029, so it intercepts it. 2-digit years entered, intercepted as a year between 1930 and 2029. And because if the 2020s are over, then it'll drop back down to 1930 and such. So we need to set to 2079. So that way it can accept the years 2030 and beyond instead of it just falling back to 1930. But anyways, let's go ahead and click next. I'll type in my usual name and organization. And the product key. So this is the standard retail release of Windows XP Home Edition. So the copy of Windows XP Professional that I installed in the last video was a volume license version. And typically, a volume license edition of Windows usually does not require activation. But with this one, Windows XP Home Edition, we do need to activate it, after we set it up and put in our product key in. So I'll go ahead and put in the product key in now. So I'll be back with you guys in a bit. Alright, I already typed in my product key, and here we are at this part of setup. So we can provide a username, a computer name. What's your computer's name? Please provide a name for your computer using the guidelines below. Choose the name for your computer that will help you identify it on your home network if you have one. Each computer on your network must have a unique name. You can name your computer based on its owner or location. For example, David or Family Room. The computer name below must be no more than 15 characters long and cannot contain special characters or spaces. Now notice we don't have the we don't have a section about the admin password because this is a home version of Windows XP, so it does not require that. In fact, you cannot access the admin account on Windows XP Home Edition at any way whatsoever, And to me, this part of setup kind of reminds me of Windows Neptune, a canceled project of a home version of Windows NT from the late 90s, but it's just the layout feels kind of similar to that. But we'll leave this computer name intact. Click next, and yep. Once again, since I had a built-in modem, or I have a modem in this Intel Compaq, we get this screen. We get this part of setup. Now, if you're installing on a VM or on a newer computer, newer than my Intel Compaq, you don't get this screen. So I'll go ahead and pause here because I need to type in the area code. So yeah. Alright, already typed in my area code for that previous section, and now we're on the date and time settings. Once again, the date and time is correct, and the time zone is correct. I don't need to touch any of those, so I just click next. So installing network. Again, that would usually display in a big window, as with Windows 2000 and such. Alright, custom settings. Alright, 1394 net adapter and our Ethernet card with the additional QoS packet scheduler option. Oh, and notice that we do not have you may notice that once I click next, we don't have the next screen or section that's about setting up a workgroup or a domain, because I believe Windows Home Edition, Windows XP Home Edition doesn't allow you to set up a domain, because this is not a Pro edition of Windows XP, obviously. So yeah, so it pretty much sets up a workgroup by default, pretty much. But there we go, it's copying the files. Try the easiest Windows yet. It took a couple blurbs for that to get up, and it's a lot more simplified than Windows XP Professionals, obviously. XP makes it easy to manage all your information. We enhanced the My Documents, My Pictures, and My Music folders to make them more useful. Now, whenever you open these folders, you'll also see handy shortcuts to the most common tags for documents, pictures, and music. Integrated support for web publishing means that you can put your documents on the internet and get them from any location. So it's basically like an early form of cloud storage, if you would say. Your computer will be faster and more reliable. Windows XP Home Edition not only starts faster than any previous version of Windows, but also runs your programs more quickly and reliably than ever. If a program becomes unstable, you can close it without having to shut down Windows or lose any of your work. Now, this blurb was also seen when you're upgrading from a previous version of Windows to Windows XP, either Home Edition or Professional, doesn't matter which edition. If you upgraded from an older version of Windows to Windows XP, you will get that blurb all the time, obviously. Even though the whole that part of setup is rendered in 16 colors rather than the full true color modes that were or high color modes that we're seeing on this setup process, because once again the setup process uses VESA this graphics drivers already built in. And I'm gonna do this again, so I'll do Shift F10 to bring up the handy command prompt. Experienced users and users who know what they're doing can take advantage of this command prompt window, such as installing graphics drivers and such. I tried that before on installing XP on my two HP laptop systems, and they all worked. I was even able to get sound and graphics drivers working even after the setup process was finished. Now, it's best to install them near the end phase of setup because installing it before will cause problems. You know, that's from what I learned. Now, the option to open up the command prompt existed all the way back to Windows 2000. I even demonstrated this for you on my reinstalling Windows 2000 Professional video, and I believe this existed as far back as like prior to Windows 2000, but I am not too sure. I think it was only 2000 that introduced it, and this functionality still remains in Windows to this day, even with Windows 10 and 11. Hitting Shift F10 will bring up the command prompt. Now I know on Windows 9X and such, you can't do that because their setup environments are completely different than what Windows NT's setup environments is like. But anyways, now it's already installed the start menu items, and now it's going to register components and save settings and remove any temporary files used. So yeah, so from this point forward, the whole setup process is pretty much just going to be pretty much identical. Pretty much have more fun with games. DirectX 8 makes a computer running Windows XP Home Edition the ideal platform for playing the latest games, as well as running other programs that feature full color graphics, video, 3D animation, or surround sound. With enhanced network support, you can play games with your family or housemates over a home network, or challenge an anonymous competitor over the internet. Now, I think there's a couple blurbs within the Windows XP Home Edition setup that are pretty much absent from Windows XP Professional's setup. There's some slight differences between them, and even some of the blurbs have been reworded somewhat. Especially the try the easiest Windows yet blurb. That has been reworded significantly. Record a CD as easily as saving information to a floppy disk. CDRs and CDRWs drives are now affordable options in most home computers. Windows XP Home Edition makes it easy to copy photos, movies, or music to a CD. It also supports integrated CD recording so that you can easily save files to a CDR CDRW drive. Oh yeah, that was the thing back then, because by the time XP was released, CDR and CDRW drives were already included in most new computers, obviously. Rely on Windows for dependable computing. Built on the proven reliability of Windows 2000, Windows XP Home Edition offers features that improve the stability of your computer. Windows XP Home Edition does a great job in managing important files with the operating system to keep them from being deleted or replaced, which makes it the most reliable Windows ever. At the time, obviously. A lot of things have changed since XP was released back in late 2001. But yeah. Now, as far as Windows XP Home Edition goes, that tends to be the version that most home users had at the time when they had XP, obviously. They usually got they usually get the upgrade copy of Windows XP rather than the full copy, and to upgrade their older Windows versions to XP, and in some instances it worked, and some instances it worked out good. Some might not do well, but for the most part, when XP was released, everyone started to upgrade it. Most people started to upgrade to Windows XP, obviously. Anyways, here we are, back at the bootloader, and I'll hit the enter button to get into our out-of-box experience. Now, once again, I'm going to put these headphones on because the Windows Welcome music is going to be played, and because of Content ID issues relating to the ownership of the music, I'm going to have to put my headphones on so I can hear them myself. Sorry guys, but the landscape is changing on YouTube, so anyways, yeah, Windows XP Home Edition tends to be the most common version of XP for consumers and home users. There were a few that used Windows XP Professional, back in the day from when it was released, including me and my family when we had it on our childhood Compaq, which is the Compaq Presario 7000 computer with the Intel Pentium IV processor. And yeah, so I used XP for over 4 years before switching over to the Vista era HP Pavilion desktop computer, which that worked fine for me at least. You know, many people have opinions on, you know, Vista, but like for me, Vista worked fine for the most part. But anyways, to improve the appearance of visual elements, Windows will automatically adjust your screen resolution. So we'll hit OK. It's bringing us to 800 by 600 resolution, and I'll hit OK. And this is the part where I'll begin to insert my headphones. Now, interestingly enough, because the volume of this thing is set to a little bit higher, so you can actually barely hear the Windows welcome music and the sound effects too. So I was kind of like doing like a little I don't know what you call it, but I was kind of doing those, making the sounds myself with my I was kind of making the sounds with myself or something. Like, I wouldn't say ad-libbing it, but you know. But anyways, here we are at the out-of-box experience. And like I said, you can barely hear the Windows welcome music playing in the background because the volume is set to a bit higher than what I would like, especially since if I had it playing on speakers. But anyways, we got QMark. It introduced us to Windows XP, so we'll click next. And not necessarily fun pack, but like the Windows welcome music actually first appeared all the way back to I believe IE3. I don't know. I think it was like IE3, IE4. It's IE3, IE4 tours, something like that. I'm not too sure. I may have to check back because I'm not looking it up. How will this computer connect to the internet? Well, we'll use a LAN connection, obviously, and we'll obtain all those. Now, because we're not connected to the internet, obviously, so it's different from when I installed XP Professional. It said you are not connected to the internet, but here it gives us how will this computer connect to the internet. So yeah, but anyways, ready to activate Windows to help reduce software piracy? Please activate your copy of Windows now. No, remind me every few days. So because this is a retail copy of Windows XP, we get this screen. If we're on a volume license copy of Windows XP, usually a Windows XP Professional, then we don't get this screen because it's already activated for us. Who will use this computer? We'll type in our usual. I'm gonna use all these ones like I had set back then, like I set in the previous video, not back then, but I think that's how I had it back then. I'm gonna have to like double check the video to see how I had it. Sorry about that. My alarm just rang, but all right. So I have all of them set up, and I'm gonna leave this out because I haven't thought about a name for the 5th user. But anyways, here we go. Thank you. Congratulations. You're ready to go. To learn about the exciting new features of Windows XP, take the product tour. You can also find useful information in the Help and Support Center. These options are located at the Start menu. Now we can click QMark again so that it can say to us that we completed the process. Congratulations, you completed this process. Ding. To start using Windows now, just click the Finish button. To take a tour of the exciting new features in Windows XP, click Help and Support on the Start menu and then type Tour in the search box. Why, thank you, QMark, and we'll be seeing you some other time. Alright, so now I'm gonna click Finish. And once I do this, I'm gonna actually unplug the speakers for a bit so that you can get a little bit of the OOB music, just in hoping that I don't get Content ID for that. But here we go, doing it. Yep, that's that. So let's go ahead into the login sequence. So here's the welcome screen for Windows XP. Doesn't look that lot different. And it's set our user account pictures that's preset for us. And once again, I will show you this trick. Hit Control Delete 2 times to bring up one. Oh, it took a few attempts, but well, here we are. We'll get the classic logon prompt. Now, once again, we can click Options to show all the options, which the only option is the shutdown option, and the logon using dial-up connection option is absent. And I'm not too sure if there's a way that you can get that option back, but anyways, let's log on as admin. Now, this is something that that's pretty much different in functionality. So even though we have the admin option on there, watch what happens when I try to log into it. Unable to log you on because of an account restriction. Yep. Even if I had the admin account unlocked on XP Home Edition, I still won't access it too. And Windows Vista and Up made it easy. Well, it made it so that you can pretty much access the admin account without any restrictions. So I guess for this, we'll actually have to use one of these accounts. I'll go into my accounts here. So here we go. Once again, the volumes is way higher than usual, and it made the right speaker a rumble a bit. Okay, but anyways, we're logging into the desktop for the first time, and once we get to the desktop, it may not look that much different from Windows XP Professional. There it is. We got the Luna theme, we got the Bliss wallpaper, the iconic, popular Bliss wallpaper, the famous Bliss wallpaper, and here's our new start menu. Now notice we have a few options. We only have a few options. We just got my documents, my pictures, my music, my computer, control panel, help and support, search, and run. So those are the only options on the right hand side. We got at least six items in the frequently used list. And yeah, so we'll do WinVer. So take a tour of Windows XP. We'll do that later in another video. So yeah, version 5.1, build 2600 XP SP1, Service Pack 1. So this is Service Pack 1 of Windows XP Home Edition. Intel Pentium III processor, 933 MHz, 640 megs of RAM. And like I said earlier in the previous video of me installing XP Professional, instead of it saying x86 Family 6 Model 8 Stepping 6 and AT8 compatible, it just replaces it with this. But yeah. System restore, again, that icon is stretched. Computer name. And this is the default workgroup name, MS Home. Instead of it saying workgroup, like on XP Professional, it says MS Home. Automatic updates, hardware, remote. Now, notice that we do not have the option of remote desktop on here. That's absent because this is not a Pro edition of Windows. So this is pretty much 30 days left before activation. Yeah, so at this point, we'll need to activate our copy of Windows XP Home Edition, which we'll not do that in this video because I've already done something like this before. I even made a video about me activating Windows XP Home Edition back in last year, obviously. So you can watch that. So yeah, no, remind me every few days. But yeah, all of our basics are here. Oh, there's remote desktop connection right there. So yep, we still have remote desktop connection. I thought it was removed, but yeah. But yeah, these are the basics here. So fresh install Windows XP Home Edition. Nothing too special. Once again, since we have a BESA Visa capable graphics card with its drivers, we're actually able to get screen resolutions up to 248 by 1536 pixels, but we'll use 1024 by 768 because that's what I usually set it on. And yeah, that's it for me installing Windows XP Home Edition. reinstalling Windows XP Home Edition on my Intel Compaq. I almost said the AMD Compaq, but yeah. Before I end this video off, I will end this by saying yes. I'm gonna mention this again in this video, cause like, as far as me goes, I might as well be willing to change this as well to the Windows 2000 Windows 9X look. So like that classic Windows look with the old pixely art icons and, you know, the Windows Classic theme and such. Some of you might know what I'm getting about, but that will come in another video, so for some other time. But yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. See ya.